First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Al-Sham Bashem Marakak Radash, and double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone and the elder bishops on down. Overall, Shalom to 144,000 Yahweh Bashmi Al-Sham Brakathum, including and even to you of those that are of the 1/3 that do follow. And it's your brother Laban, and I just want to revisit Daniel's 9 and verse 26 to verse 27, because what I did mention, now I was right in the video, but I was wrong on a couple of things, or maybe just one thing actually. The time, right, when the temple was being made. Now, when the temple was being made, um as most dates will point to 516 BC, and between that time and on towards to the Messiah is what the week was talking about in verse 27, right? And so what I did was I times it by 7, and then I mentioned another number to times it with, which is what, 72 is actually 62. So 7 times 62, that would make it 434 years from the time when the temple was already officialized to the time of the Messiah, right? Now, a lot of scholars point to, again, particular time periods when this was, but we're not really 100% sure, okay? But what we do know is that from the time when the temple was being built, the second temple, the Messiah was going to come in the midst to cease sacrifice and oblation, as verse 27 puts it. So, pretty much what I want to do is I want to read verse 27 here. As it reads, "And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause sacrifice and the oblation to cease." So within that week, that's the time period that the Messiah would be. And in that time, he would be the sacrificial lamb, and then that would then do away with the carnal side of things in regards to sacrificing for sin and the likes. And as it is written, "And then for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate." So when we back up from verse 26, it mentions that, as it reads, "And the people of the princes shall come and shall destroy the city and the sanctuary." I read over that. "And the end thereof shall be with the flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined." So yeah, that's talking about from the time of 70 AD would come in, which is the first Jewish Roman wars. I'm saying it incorrectly. The first Roman Jewish wars. So about, what is it, 30 plus years, because it started in 66 AD, as most scholars would point to as well. That's when you had that war that broke out between the Romans and the Israelites at the time. And the Israelites, they were carrying on because they were being taxed to death. So that was their excuse. And Titus Titus Domitian, which was the sons of Vespasian, they authorized the military to go down there to destroy the place. Okay, so that's what Yahushua was talking about in Matthew 24 and verse 14. And basically, the second temple being done away with really signified something that was going to be greater to come. That Yahushua in this case would be the temple revived, or the third temple, as well as it is written in the book of John, when he said what he said, right? And they used what he said against him on towards the crucifixion, right? This reads, Yahushua answered and said, this is John 2 and 19, unto them, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up." Then said the Jews, 40 and 6 years was this temple in building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? But he spake of the temple of his body. So that's what he was talking about. He was talking about his body, right? And unto those that believe, right, would be also one of that temple, one of that body. So if you believed in Yahweh Shai, all of your sins were nailed to the cross. His flesh was nailed to the cross, which is to signify the sins thereof, because the flesh is what brings forth the sin. Okay, just to mention anyway, something that came to mind. So we believe in Yahweh Shai, making us a part of the third temple. So Yahweh Shai and the rest of the saints is the third temple coming in. All right. Now, the so-called JOOishes, they're seeking for the building up of the third temple, as they call it, Mount Temple or something like that. Or it's called the Mount, Salakia. It's called the Mount, if I'm correct. But the third temple represents the church of the first fruits. All right, as it is written, it is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. So what does it mean to be dead with him? Meaning to be dead to the world. So when he comes and arise physically, we're going to rise with him, and we're going to be declared right along with him as the saints of the Most High. Let me read verse 12, Salakia, for that. I was about to go to a different scripture. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he also will deny us. So there it is. It's all parallel. So, yeah. So let me go and read this now. This is 1 Corinthians 12 and verse 12. For as the body is one and have many members, and all of the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also in the anointed. And this is the Apostle Paul speaking about the various offices that men would fulfill in the body. And so this applies to us this very moment in time as well, because you have brothers in different positions. You have brothers that are skilled in, making signs. Brothers are skilled in, Salakia, in various different, things that could be used for the ministry. Just to keep that short. So the same thing, like I said, applies to this moment in time. All right. So being that we are of the body of Yahweh Shai, at one with it, in the kingdom of heaven, as this is written, right? Let's read that in the book of Revelations 12. Excuse me, not 12. Revelations 21. And I tell you what, we'll just read to the point. Yeah, so it reads, we'll begin by reading 21. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every silver gate was one pearl, and the streets of the city was pure gold, and as it were transparent glass. And I saw no temple therein, for the Lord Yahweh, their power, Almighty, Salakia, and the Lamb are the temple of it. And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine in it, for the glory of the Most High did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. In other words, the wisdom and the understanding of the Yerah Shalom in this case will be by the behest of Yahweh Shai and the Most High. Okay, and plus we're going to have that new covenant embedded within us. So it's not going to be no need for the sacrificing for sins. As what you would do in the temple, the priest would perform the services thereof. Okay, that would all be done away with and through. Now, for the sake of the other nations, those services will be performed upon them, but for the saints, no. Because we're not going to sin anymore. All right, so what it means, as well as I've mentioned, that the light thereof represents the wisdom, right? Let's read that in Isaiah the 60th chapter. Let's read verse 18. Beginning there, violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy wall salvation and thy gates praise, as we just read in Revelations 21. And you can read that whole entire chapter. I mean, that really elaborates on how the kingdom is going to look. So in verse 19 now, And the sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for the brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. In other words, the wisdom and the understanding. But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy power and thy glory. Right. So again, that's what it means. The Lord is going to be our wisdom and understanding, because again, that new covenant is going to be embedded within us. Verse 20, and thy sun shall no more go down, and neither shall thy moon withdraw itself, for the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. So in this case, where it mentions neither shall thy moon withdraw itself, and including the sun, now it doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to have no night in the kingdom. This is indicative of we're all going to be righteous, as it reads in verse 21, because that's the wisdom that we're only going to bear. Thy people also shall be all righteous, and they shall inherit the land forever, and the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. So there you go. So in Psalms 121, again, mentions about the sun and as well as the moon, right? The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil, and he shall preserve thy soul, and the Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. And as I just read in the book of Isaiah 60 and verse 18, it reads, violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy wall salvation and thy gate praise, which the term salvation also means preservation from danger. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to read this again, because what I wanted to do, what I should have done is read this first and then went to Psalms 1 and 21. So I'll do it again, just to convey the point so you can see what I'm talking about. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil, and he shall preserve thy soul. And the Lord Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, and from this time forth and even forever. So in the kingdom, when it means, in this case now, in the book of Psalms 121, the sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night, meaning no evil is going to befall us. Okay? So if we have the wisdom and understanding within us to keep the righteousness thereof of the Most High, then there's not going to be no need for all of those things which can bring evil to be in effect in the land of Israel, among the people of Israel, no more. And then the Israelites will live up to that term, which is going to be placed upon the land, because we're going to be there, and we're going to be truly Yerah Shalom, which the term Yerah Shalom, I once thought it was, and probably a few brothers still think that it's that meaning, but it's not the meaning. The word Yerah Shalom doesn't mean the city of peace. What it means the teaching of peace. So that's definitely going to be lived up to. And yes, of course, the city of Jerusalem is going to be peaceful, because we're going to be what? Bringing forth our righteousness on towards these other nations. It's kind of like what we're doing right now, but we're going to be doing it on a grandiose scale, because all of the nations are going to want to have to partake into what we're telling them. That's in the book of Isaiah chapter 2 as well. So this is what the third temple is going to be. We are going to be the third temple. We are the third temple actually right now. Let me correct myself there. We are the third temple. All right? And that's all due to Yahweh Shai. So that's why the Spirit had it the way those Romans came and destroyed the second temple to put an end to that, which is to signify the third temple being resurrected. In other words, Yahweh Shai, and us being included in that temple, making us one with him. So I think I've said what I had to say with that. Let me see something real quick. All right. Yeah, we got that. Yeah, and I could also read Romans 12 as well. Let me read that just to tie this in with 1 Corinthians 12 as well. Romans 12, I think it's verse 6, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Romans 12 and verse 5. So we being many are one body in Yahweh Shai, and in every one members one of another, having then gifts different according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. Yeah, so I mean, he's basically reiterating the point in Romans 12 here in regards to the many members in the body, which represents the body of Yahweh Shai, because we're at one with it. And in the book of John, chapter 2, as he was referring to his body being the temple, and that's what we are. We're the third temple with the kingdom in our hearts. So that's all I got to say with that. I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmiel Shai Bashem Warakak Radash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone. And the Spirit didn't allow me to read this, man. I should have had read this after speaking about Daniel's 9, because that's basically what Daniel's 9 is going into. The second, between when the time of the second temple was first being built to the point of 70 AD, where he would actually destroy this the place and as well as the sanctuary, right? Which this goes into that. So, but yeah, I'm gonna put an end to this over here, giving all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashim Shai Bashem Arakak Radash, and double honor to the apostles of the great Nelson that have taught us this truth. Okay, and the elder bishops on down as well. Yahweh Bashim Shai Brakatham, 244,000, and including the 1/3 too. So with that, I'm out. Shalom.